I mean, if you've been to other conferences, like, this is something really special, I think, that's happening here, right? Something different and beautiful, right? So I'm so excited about here. And I have to tell you kind of how I came to be here. Justice Fergie called me. Where is she? Is she here? Okay, there you are. Hey, darling. She called me and she said, Karen, we're starting this new conference this year. And it's going to be called Blogalicious, and we really would love if you would come do a keynote speech for us. And I was like, seriously? Okay. What would you like me to talk about, right? And she said, well, I mean, the whole reason for the conference is, to sort of start educating marketers about our demographic and start a dialogue and that sort of thing. So, you could come talk about that. But I'm really sort of interested in how you ended up being where you are, because your blog is kind of non-traditional, she said. Right? Non-traditional. So I thought, okay. And I said, well, you know what? And I didn't ask her what she meant by non-traditional. I decided I'm just going to go with it. And I said, you know what? Give me a couple of days. And this is all true, right? I said, give me a couple of days. Let me get back with you. Let me think about what this is all about. So a couple of days later, I'm driving in my car. I live in Houston, Texas, where we all drive in our cars because there is no public transportation in Houston. And I'm listening to NPR, and I'm thinking, you know what? Non-traditional. I've heard that all my life, right? I know you people know what I'm talking about. Oh, you're not really black, right? Or Asian, or Hispanic. Oh, And you're a lawyer? Really? You're a lawyer? You're a lawyer? I went to university at a school called Texas A&M University. Any Aggies in here? No Aggies? Sorry. You know what? I'm not that surprised because out of 40,000 students, 400 of us looked like me. So I'm not particularly surprised about that. But everybody, of course, goes, oh, you went to A&M? You went to A&M? Like, I get that all my life. And at first, it really sort of pissed me off, right? Like the whole you're not really black thing, right? So if somebody who's not black says that to you, I mean, what's the first thing you think? You're like, well, what kind of effed up idea of black do you have going on in your head, right? And then if somebody who is black says that to you, well, you're not really black, then you're like, yeah, I am. I can represent, right? So, like for a while, it was my discomfort. It was like, what, I'm not fitting in. I'm not, I wear weird dresses, like, kind of thing. And then I started thinking about it, and I thought, it's actually served me pretty well that I'm not what people expect, right? And I will say that, back in a past life, I was a lawyer. You mentioned I wasn't a litigator, by the way. I was in-house counsel at a very, very large corporation, Fortune 200 corporation in the energy industry that I like to call he who shall not be named, right? And I was the lawyer there. And I started as the lawyer for Latin America, because I speak some Spanish. So I would fly down to Latin America and close deals. I was in the software side, and I'd close deals, these multi-million-dollar deals. And what would end up happening is, like, we would have the local salespeople would be trying to negotiate a deal, and they get to an impasse, and they'll say, well, fine, we'll fly the lawyer from corporate down, right? So they think, all right, so multinational oil energy services company out of Houston, Texas, and the lawyer is coming. What do you think that lawyer is going to look like? Not like me, right? Right? So I would get down there, right, and I'm like, hi, or hola, ¿cómo estás, or whatever, and we'd start talking. And the other thing is, I was not a particularly good lawyer. Like I was not one of those lawyers that's very, we'll find the loophole and stick it in there, and we're going to write evil stuff, and I didn't. The way I figured it, my law was happy law, right? Like we wanted to sell you something, you wanted to buy something, so let's just make this happen, right? Like, what are you worried that we're going to do to you? I'll make sure the contract makes sure that we won't do that to you, and let's get on with it, right? So we would go through, and I always, 99 times out of 100, I would close the deal quickly. And the salespeople would be like, what's up with that, right? And I'm like, well, beauty is different, man. Right? Like, it's sort of, I wasn't what they expected, right? And I think that's, as I think about it more, I think that's true really of all of us, right? Right? Don't you think? I mean, like, we are all in here, right? We're all women, most of us, right? We're all of color, most of us, right? We all blog, most of us, right? But each of us individually have something that's totally different. And I think that something different actually is our superpower, right? I think that's our real superpower. So